What's up, guys? Head Drop Wrestling here, and we've got a fresh episode of SmackDown. Let's go, and don't forget to push the like button, it's really important. The show kicks off right away with Nick Aldis making his entrance. Naturally, he's still in shock after last week, but he says he's not taking it personally and remains professional. That said, he calls Randy Orton to the ring. Orton doesn't buy that Aldis didn't take it personally. He reminds everyone that the last time he attacked a general manager and got fined. And as we remember, Randy paid double fine back then, saying that his time would come. That time, he says, was last week, hence the RKO. It's all because this year's WrestleMania is a big one for Orton. It'll be his 20th appearance on the grandest stage of them all. And all that means, he has to take down Aldis himself to get what he wants, so be it. Aldis fires back, saying he doesn't care about the money. What he wants is respect. And that is where the segment took a downturn for me, because out comes Solo Sikoa. He says nobody cares what the Viper thinks, he's the past. And the LA King? He'll be the past too after Jacob Fatu takes his title. Orton, he says, will be watching all that happen alone from home. That's when Randy snaps, mocking Solo for even having the balls to come out and talk that kind of trash. It breaks down into a brawl, when the heels taking early control, until LA Knight runs in to even the odds. After clearing the ring, the US champ says that clearly these guys didn't give enough beating, so they are challenging the Bloodline to take a match tonight. And all this wastes no time, giving the green light. And we move straight into the match that was announced last week, the Women's Gauntlet match. The winners will face Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania for the women's tag team titles. To be honest, it's unclear why the match even needed to happen. Most of the teams felt randomly thrown together just for the sake of this segment. Honestly, I don't even think it's worth mentioning how drawn out the whole thing felt, and I seriously doubt there was the right call to begin with. Still, if you want to watch the match or the full show, make sure to check out the link in the description and join our Telegram channel to enjoy it all there. As for the match itself, it gave off heavy flashbacks to women matches from Manias 10 years ago, a couple of basic moves, random eliminations, and not much in the way of real structure or build. It all started with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria taking on Zoe Stark and Shayla Baszler. The faces picked up the win easily after a random roll-up. Next out were Maxine and Natalya, who, as we remember, recently resigned with WWE, though it's still unclear what the long-term plan is for her. Within just a couple of minutes, Maxine was pinned in yet another roll-up, then came Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. They got their little moment to shine, hitting some nice moves that almost made you believe they could win. But luck wasn't on their side, and once again Valkyria and Bayley moved on with the victory. After that, it was Mission and BFAB's turn to enter. Not only did they fail to bring any energy, but the whole thing somehow managed to suck the life out of the crowd. It felt like the audience slipped into boredom-induced trance. Still, despite how slow it got, the match was given quite a little bit of time, and eventually, a hot tag to Bayley brought the pace back up. She gathered her energy and scored the win for the team. Bayley's team picked up the win after pinning BFAB, and that brought out the final team to enter the match. Chelsea Green's Enforcers, Piper Niven, and Alba Fair. Honestly, compared to the rest of the teams, they looked the most put together and cohesive, which definitely gave them an edge. And this was the moment where the match actually started to hook me. Finally, something was happening. For once, it wasn't obvious who would win, and that unpredictability added some much-needed excitement. After a solid back and forth and a series of near falls, Bayley and Valkyria, who, remember, managed to pull off the win and go the distance. Next up, Damian Priest makes his entrance, but he's ambushed by the Scottish Warrior on his way to the ring. Drew absolutely lays into him with a vicious attack before taking the stage. Drew says that he can finally see things clearly now, and so can anyone else. He's always told the truth, but nobody ever wants to believe him. Priest, he says, has never once had the guts to fight him like a real man. Every single time it's been cheap shots and shortcuts. But now, Priest has accepted the challenge and the two of them will face on the grandest stage of them all. And this time, Priest is going to get even more than what he got last week. Drew also shares some good news. He's now 100% healthy. He takes off his arm brace and promises to completely destroy Damian Priest at WrestleMania. That's when Priest, having recovered, storms back and the full-blown brawl breaks out. The whole vibe of the suit is giving serious eye-for-an-eye energy, though let's hope they don't go that route again, because we all remember how weird that whole Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio thing was. The segment ends with Drew planting Priest with a future shock DDT right on the steel steps. Well, they've definitely added some spice to this rivalry, and honestly, it's shaping up to look way better than it first seemed. Backstage, DIY are visibly frustrated about what went down last week. They believe they lost unfairly and insist they deserve another shot at the tag titles. Also hanging around are the Pretty Boys and the Motor City Machine Guns, but for now, none of this has led to anything particularly interesting. We were shown another incredible moment with Triple H's legendary career, this time his King of the Ring victory from 1997. Up next, a match featuring my new favorite on SmackDown, Rey Fenix vs Berto. I really liked that they actually set this one up a bit last week, even if just slightly. Plus, I appreciated that the newcomer didn't dominate most of the match, which is often the case. Of course, there was never really a chance Phoenix would lose, but still, the match felt well balanced throughout. As for this bout, it felt endless, but in the best way possible. I'm honestly surprised they were given that much time. Phoenix ultimately walked away with the win, and rightfully so. Congrats to the luchador! We were shown a promo that continues to reveal the story of CM Punk's friendship with Paul Heyman. Overall, it's pretty clear where it's all headed, but what surprises me is that none of the feud's participants are on the show tonight. Chelsea Green was left on her own after her support lost the match, and now she's heading into a match with Zelina Vega. Unfortunately, it didn't last long because the champion ended up losing by countout, being too distracted by outside matters. We get a promo from Naomi, who calls Cargill nothing but a snake. She says she's glad she attacked her, it gave her the chance to take her spot and walk around with the titles alongside Bianca. But now it's all over, and once again, it's because of Cargill. At WrestleMania, she says she's going to stop the storm. Cargill responds, saying she's not just mad, she's furious. Naomi stole her spot and thought everything would go her way, but reality doesn't work like that. Naomi was jealous that Cargill was already at the top the moment she walked in, and now Cargill is going to prove exactly why she is the one to fear. The storm is coming. In the ring, we see all the variations of the company's World Championship title, and of course, out comes Cody Rhodes, who says it's an incredible honor for him to be among the list of people who have held it. It's a massive story that continues to unfold every day. Many wrestlers have proudly held the company's top title, and there are countless others who will fight for it in the future. Maybe there is a young wrestler sitting in the audience, dreaming about what they might have achieved. Achieve in 10 years, but the vile John Cena wants to cut it all short because he wants to win and retire with championship. But Cody won't allow such disrespect toward the title. He shows off the spinning title, saying the days of Cena, something like that, are over. There are so many wrestlers who are truly worthy of fighting for it. As Rhodes said to Brock and Reigns, if he steps into the ring, he's going to fight until the very end. And after the match at Mania, Rhodes will give him the moment to say goodbye. One day, Rhodes' time will come to an end, but the title will remain with him until then. And then it will stay with the fans forever. Oh yes, they announced the Battle Royale in honor of the big Andre next week. We're definitely looking forward to that, and Omos return will be perfect for it. Behind the scenes, there was a confrontation between Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez, which eventually led to a match. It wasn't bad, but I was a bit thrown off by the lack of reaction to what was happening. It's also unclear if Perez has officially been moved to the main roster, but for now it's not really important. It served as a decent time filler, especially since SmackDown is a 3-hour show and they also needed to feature the champion ahead of Mania. In the end, Stratton got the win, and you'd think that would be it, but after the match, Charlotte attacked her, beating her down and sending her into the commentary table. There are also rumors that their match won't have any rules, and that might be the right call. We'll see what else they set up for next week. And so we've reached the main event of the show, which featured the previously announced tag match, Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Honestly, this felt pretty standard. It seems like they know each other so well, there is no point in discussing what they plan to do before the match. The main question here is who will be Orton's opponent at Mania, and right now the biggest fear is Solo Sikoa. I hope that doesn't happen because you've got Mira and Aleister Black ready to return. If the latter becomes Orton's opponent, it could make for a great match. As for the match itself, the faces had a pretty easy victory. Immediately after the match, Jacob Fatu attacked the champion, reminding everyone that he's still a threat to LA Knight. That's it for another episode of SmackDown. Drop your thoughts on what you saw in the comments down below, and we'll see you all very soon.